From a team in black and white to a great sausage roll, talking stories of new and old.
From this special place that is yours and is mine.
Lads and lasses, welcome to the talk of the time.
Whoa, talk of the time. Whoa, talk of the time. Whoa, talk of the time. Whoa, talk of the time.
And we are back, episode 4 of Talk of the Time.
Are.
Talk of the Time podcast, episode 4. Where is time
It's
gone?
mental, isn't it?
It's absolutely
mental.
It's just like, it just seems like 5 minutes ago we were talking about this and now we're into episode 4.
To be honest, I think it's flu. Do you not think it's flu?
It has, and it's been a lot easier than I thought it was going to be
Oh, 100%.
in terms of like talking about content and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think it's definitely been just like a breeze. Like it just flows, doesn't it?
It does. It's 100%.
It just
100%.
flows, and before you know it, you kind of find yourself down a hole. Yeah, and,
Down a big hole.
yeah. Well, and funny enough, believe it or not, that's the opening subject of
certainly is, it
today's
certainly
discussion. Because we'll put a post out on Facebook asking about the weirdest conspiracy theories you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And, well, some of the answers were, shall we say, borderline would cause a storm in a teacup.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we can kind of go there. But our podcast is always, as you know by now, by watching, we're kind of like the fun outlook on things.
Yes.
And one or two of the subjects I could brought up, I don't think there's any way of funnily looking at them.
You can't sort of like butter it up, can you? Really, some of the contents.
One of the conspiracies was regarding like the COVID thing, and people
Yeah.
saying like, you know, was it a hoax and stuff like that. Well, I think that's best left alone because we aren't that kind of podcast.
No, I mean I used to work in the hospital. My opinion on it is yeah. So best to leave that one alone. Yeah.
So I think that's for someone else's podcast. You see, we're not a BBC podcast.
No.
We're a B&M Bargains podcast.
I love being involved.
That's what we are. We're the B&M Bargains
certainly
of
are. We
podcasts.
certainly are.
We aren't the BBC. Well, don't even mention them neither.
No.
No. So we started to have a look ourselves at some of the weirdest podcast. The
Yes.
weird podcast. Strike me down and hit me twice. But some of the weirdest conspiracy theories that we could possibly lay our hands on to discuss.
If you're talking about weird podcasts, like we are quite a weird podcast.
No, because we're just live. There's no the editing that you see, like so on the podcast. That's literally just edited on top of what we do. We don't actually edit anything out.
No,
we just
no,
leave it in because that's what makes us who we are.
If you've watched episode 3 and Junior asked me, did I know my childhood memory? You know, we'd had the conversation, we spoke about it, but yeah, I just it completely went out of my mind. So we didn't edit that one out. You know, but that actually was generally a bit of a
boo-boo.
Yes, it was a boo-boo, yes.
Bit of a boo-boo, yeah.
So we don't have any uncuts or cuts or out of that.
No.
It's what you see is what you get with us, basically.
Exactly.
Top and bottom of it.
And in talking about that, seeing is believing. Let's go back onto the conspiracy theories. And one of them that when I had a look and I was writing up a list for what to discuss was some people in the world actually believe now in this day and age, right as we live,
right,
because they've got this thing that the government are controlling we're and spying on we're and you know that there's like talk of cashless societies and one world government and all that kind of. But again, we ain't that. But what we can take from that is that some people in among them people believe that birds are now robots that are spying on.
Oh, that's absolutely ridiculous.
So you know when a bird does its doing on you, is it like kind of like, you know, like reporting for duty, like he's dodgy.
Don't talk to me about yogurts.
before we came on air tonight, Nathan decided it would be a really good idea to just cover himself in yogurt, and it kind of looked like he'd been well marked by the MI5 seagull. So honestly though, can you just stop and think about this? You're sitting like, where would you be with birds? In the park with the kids?
My thing is, right, I totally get, like, it might be an MI5 thing, right? It's a bird, but how do the program it to pinch your chips? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it comes down and it'll pinch your chips. Like, is that programmed to pinch your chips? Like, I don't understand that.
I don't think an MI5 trained bird would be looking for chips somehow, Nathan.
No,
it's looking for information.
Information chips.
So
maybe.
it could just be sitting in the tree above you, listening to you talking about like like really like important stuff.
I know what's important. They could be listening to you talking about our podcast.
That's important. That's very
really
important.
It is,
but I'm going to flip it on its head now.
Okay.
Because you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one.
Go on then, I'll let you.
The next one that came up on the list, right? That some people, and you're probably one of them, right?
You reckon? Go on then. Go on, I'll let you.
Believe that the moon is made of cheese.
Do you know what though? What kind of cheese would be made? Because you've just literally said that there, and I was thinking like a Stilton, or like a, like a cheddar. Do you reckon?
I don't know, but I just couldn't imagine.
I think somebody's tell the kid that it's made of cheese. I don't think it's.
You imagine when when they landed on the moon, they didn't get off and like put the hand out and like look for water or dust. Like you just got down on your hands and knees.
It's definitely made of cheese, like
it's cheddar. I can't understand where these people have actually. What have they seen to then get the belief that the moon is made of cheese? For me, I would have to see something that makes us think that.
Well, yeah, I didn't believe it was made of cheese. I don't think it's made of cheese.
Well, we'll get back to that in a minute, right? Because I want to crack straight on with the list. Because
my question is, right, how did they get close enough to the moon?
Well, I think that's things called spaceships.
No, I mean like
for you, it would be. Well, I think you're too young to remember Button Moon.
Nah, I'm too young for that.
You need to go and do some research, and when you watch Button Moon, then you'll understand how they got to the moon. Okay. Well, the next podcast, Note Made, ask Nathan about
Button Moon.
About Button Moon. So, talking about birds before, right? There is also some people in this world that think world leaders, like your presidents and your prime ministers and your, like, all these big bodies that are, like, making decisions, like, on our lives.
Yeah.
They believe that some of them are lizards.
Yeah. You reckon?
I don't. I've seen videos in that where, like, eyes have went, like, dark and funny and stuff like that. I've seen that thing kind of happen. And it's, like, I've thought, like, but the problem, the problem we've got now,
what?
And I'm a victim to it, to be honest, like, AI, artificial intelligence, because now you can go on, as we well know, like, with photographs, when we make different images for social media and stuff, you can ask it to do anything, more or less, and it'll do it.
Yeah.
So what now, because that's happened, all of the things that were perhaps conspiracy theories before, where people went, "Ooh, that looks strange." Now a lot of it, people just go, "Oh, it's AI. It's just AI." That's just what it is.
And like some people like, "Wow, that never happened." Well, obviously, like it's obvious that it didn't happen because, like, you've got sort of like Mr. Bean surfing, like in a suit, like that is an AI picture.
That's a very,
do you know
very,
what I mean? Like that's,
like that would be the one thing I'd expect of you, Nathan, is if ever like the world came to end and they start talking about UFOs, that you would come out with that line of, "Well, no, I've seen Mr. Bean on a surfboard."
Yeah, obviously, yeah. No, I mean, like, if I was in, like, a wetsuit or something, but he was literally in a suit, shoes, on a surfboard, in the waves.
And did that play with your head?
Yeah, because that was, like, that's not a real picture, that's AI picture. You know what I mean? I could go on now and put Junior playing basketball at the NBAs, and it would show you playing basketball at the NBAs.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
So
It's mental.
so Mr. Bean didn't go in the water.
No.
Okay. Right. Okay. Now,
If you're talking about AI stuff, that's pretty much what I've seen.
okay. There is a bigger world out there, Nathan. That there's things like animals and stuff. Like Mr. Bean is like bottom of the list. There's loads more. It's pretty mental. Like if you turn the TV over from like CBeebies, there's like loads of other channels as well.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Are you okay, mate?
Yeah.
Phew.
Oh, God.
I'm literally waiting here for like Beatles about or Ant and Dec to jump out and tell us I've been pranked.
Ant and Dec?
Aye.
Oh.
Aye.
Aye. Huh.
But talking about the moon before, right? About the cheese thing, the serious flip side conspiracy theory is about the actual first landing on the moon. Did it happen?
Well, there is a theory about that because there wasn't actually any footprints. Apparently, Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. I don't believe he did.
Well, my take on it, there's a couple of things that I'm not scientifically gifted enough to like vouch truth and say this is why, but it's just my opinion based on what I'm led to believe.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That there's no wind in space,
No.
but yet when they planted the flag, the American flag, it was blown all over. So that kind of defies logic. And two is that in the same breath, as he was getting off the spacecraft thing that took them there, he was being videoed. So that then tells me that someone had to get off before him with the camera
to video him.
So he wasn't the first one on the moon.
Okay.
That's just my thoughts.
That's a good theory.
But the problem was back then they didn't have the technology that we've got now to verify what was true, what wasn't true. So that because of the age of stuff and grainy films and stuff, it's left loads of gaps for people to go, oh, that might have happened or that might, because do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that is also something that I want to discuss as well, because you just reminded us on there talking about the footage, etc., being grainy back in the day, right?
Right.
Talking about technology now, right? When you go and get a new phone now, or you see a new phone come out, 99% of them, it's all about the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this camera's now got 20 megapixels, 30, 40. It all seems to be, okay, it's got a better operating system, battery life, but it's all based around cameras, right? And now, in everyday life, like, cameras and CCTV have become like a massive thing now.
Right.
So everywhere you go, you're either on a CCTV, you're on a dash cam, you're on a ring door cam.
Right.
You're on a, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a good thing because a lot of crimes and that, it assists them to find people and help and missing people and that.
Yeah.
But what I don't get, Nath, right? I was sitting watching this police program the other night, and they had like all the DNA, they had like just from a drop of saliva and all this kind of stuff. Amazing. Science, technology put to its finest, and I was like, that's ace. But then, get this, the one thing they couldn't nail him on was actually being at the scene. And the reason they couldn't nail him, they had footage in the time scale from a petrol station and a house nearby, etc. They had footage of a guy resembling him.
They looked like him.
But the footage on the camera just was so poor.
Mm-hmm.
So how come in this day and age when we've got this amazing technology that can take a hair off your head and tell you your name and when you were born and all this amazing technology is being made, but yet the one thing we can't get right is to get a picture of someone.
Yeah.
Like still now, like,
I mean, you're saying that, like, when you say resemblance, like him, like people think I look like Brad Pitt, but obviously I don't know if that's just the CCTV situation. I mean, I just got told I did look a bit like him, but I don't know if that's
Okay.
the truth or not.
Was that while you were probably at the cinema watching Mr. Bean on a surfboard in the water?
Probably. It was just a thing that
Seriously,
I
have you ever
had.
seen some of the faces that they put up, like crime watching that? They look like they've been hit with a brick.
They probably have.
Oh, be serious. Like, you've never seen.
Have you seen this man? He's got half an ear.
He's got one eye up there. He's got one eye down by his cheek. He's got he's got half brown hair, half ginger hair. It's just like.
Do you know what? You've just described me, fella.
Sorry, Rob, again. Sorry. He let you down last week because he said last week, oh, me mum done this. And he failed to mention you, Rob. So, away, have a word with him. But anyways, right, talking about the way that these people look on these cameras, right, these E-fits or CCTV, right, seriously, have you ever, looked at them and thought, most of them, the way they're looking at you or on the footage, they look like they've, smelt the worst smell in the world. They're like, the faces are all screwed up, and you think, no, you couldn't look like that if you tried.
Looks like a bulldog chewing a wasp.
But what have they been smelling to look like that?
Oh.
What I mean, what's the worst thing you've ever smelled?
My worst thing, gotta be. I hate the smell of onions.
Onions.
Oh, right. Do you know when you open a jar of mayonnaise? I hate the smell of mayonnaise. You know, the first, and then the mayonnaise is sort of
How does it go again? You're full of information today, none of it's of any use to us. I'll never ever go out this room and use any of it again today. But it's great that you've shared it.
No, when you open the tin of jar, shall I say, of mayonnaise, and then the smell is revolting.
Mayonnaise though,
And
it's mate.
It's the smell of mayonnaise that I don't like.
I know, but I'll give you one. You need, if you're gonna smell bad smells, then I think the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life was a thing called Bombay duck. My dad used to get it, right, and it was it looked like a dog chew.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to come in from work, at discos back then,
right,
12-1, like we do. And he would obviously get himself sorted, sit down and try to unwind watching the telly with a can, and he'd get this Bombay duck every now and again, and you have to put it in the grill.
I've never heard of it.
You put it in the grill, like toast.
Can you get it from the Chinese?
We can't Chinese supermarket. It's black, but it looks like bit like twigs, right? And
licorice.
Sort of,
but not.
No, but it looks like
texture.
a twig. It looks like a twig.
Oh.
And then you're sitting I don't know, because I've never stuck around long enough to know, but I surmise you just chew on it, and I don't know how you. But honestly, mate, it used to, like I say, it was always the early hours of the morning, and that house used to stink to the high heavens. And honestly, I think even now there's still a little bit of a distinct memory of it that makes you think, oh my. And back then, honestly, nowhere 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I've seen the house with every window, door wide open, just to get rid of the smell. And
did your mum never see how it Dave?
But I think you just kind of said, well, I've been to work, I'll put the bread on the table, kind of thing, and this is my treat. So he kind of had a counter argument in a way, but
yeah,
he got away with it for long enough. But it's certainly one of them smells that stayed with us for quite some time.
Oh,
it's rotten. Actually, you know what it is? I need to clear my mind for a 5. So how about we have a little advert break?
Yeah,
Was that good?
Yeah.
Then we'll come back.
Brilliant.
Right, we're off to go and overcome bad memories, and we'll see you right back here in just a couple of minutes. Yes, some adverts. Local adverts for local companies, great people, salt the earth, goes like this. And there we are. Once
we're
again,
back. We're back. Yeah.
as always, we love to support local businesses doing great things in the community. And some of them people do just a lot more than run those businesses. They actually use them businesses, in terms of what they make with their business, they then put back into the community. Whether
if you want to sponsor us or you want to promote your business,
email address is here along the bottom. Obviously the social medias are up and running. Facebook, Talk of the Tyne, etc. And get in touch.
I think the biggest thing for us, Junior, is to get your event out to everyone on the podcast, but also to promote your business. If you've got a business there, let us promote it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, one of the biggest things we're doing right now in return, I know, here we go. It's what was it? Scrambled eggs on toast.
Yeah.
I'm going to beg. Right now, we've just started a whole new YouTube channel. Obviously, I've got mine where I'm posting the podcast where you might be watching it now, but there's also a dedicated channel now, Talk of the Tyne podcast, where we're going to eventually, when we get the numbers up on there, we'll then just transfer everything over to there.
Please, like from the bottom of my heart, please, would you just give it a like, a share?
Subscribe. Subscribe's the most important thing. You go on that channel, I'll put the link, everything's in the description on this video. Go over there, just hit the subscribe button, and once we start getting things happening over there, then it means this podcast can really take off and we can start doing things.
We can't be as happy as we are, but it is good to see you subscribe to the channel, because it gives us something to go by, and chat.
You know what's been great? Well, I talked about this today actually. There's been workmen at the house, and one of them stopped us a day, and he was like, by the way, he went, love the podcast. He was like, it's absolutely mint.
Yeah.
He says, and the other day, he says, all the lads, he says, we're in the cabin at work. He says, in my lunch hour, he says, and we're sitting watching. He says, we're talking about the tomato ketchup and the sprouts. She says, honestly, he says, we're sides, we're splitting. And I was like, oh, it's excellent. And then I think it was the weekend gone. Someone came up at a gig and they were like, oh, by the way, when's the next podcast? I was like, it's every Friday at 2 p.m. on YouTube. And they're like, oh, honestly, it's absolutely class. And it's things like that, when you get little comments, and then that it's out there, because when they're coming telling you things that have happened in the podcast, they've watched it.
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, right? And this happened to me a while ago, but I went to my little girl's school, right?
Right.
And we did like a colouring in thing. And our friend, he's only about 8, but he watches YouTube and stuff.
Right.
And Millie told him, oh, my dad's a YouTuber. And he was like, oh my God, you're a YouTuber. And do you know what? Actually, I come out there. Yeah, we do podcasts, we do things for the community and stuff, but it actually, I went out with my head held high. That me Ben was proud of us for doing.
Oh, bless Nate.
You know what I mean?
Mate,
it's even better because I do it with my best friend.
Oh, mate, do you know what I mean? Likewise, the crack. It's a great thing that I always intended on doing. I've said it all before. During lockdown, I'd done the talk show, and it was always like an itch that I wanted to go back and scratch again. Do you know what I mean? So,
and I really I know I probably never. I don't think Junior would. I wasn't going to mention this on the podcast, but this was Junior's idea. He's done a lot on the podcast, and behind the scenes is immense. But for him to help let me co-host this, as a resident co-host, it's amazing, because I look forward to coming in and doing the podcast, and I'm really looking forward to doing Tongues on Tour, which will be my little bit. But don't be sort of worried, because Tongues on Tour is coming. We just got things in pipelines. This has just took off quicker than we thought it was going to take off. So all the plans that we had, they've now having to be brought forward, and so now we're having to look at other people's diaries as well as our own, and between workloads, all kind of work and trying to tie down dates. So there's loads to come, and I mean, you might not see it on camera, but there's loads going on behind the scenes. There's loads going on with the podcast setup. To improve it, to make it better.
We're always striving to make it as good as we can.
And, you know, this is where we also want you in, because if you notice something, right, maybe from episode 1 or episode 2, and you think, oh, there's something being put in there, put in the comments. Oh, I really like you've put like the on air sign. Do you like it? Because
that's Nathan's little job when we come in the studio to make sure the on air sign's on.
It's either that and count me crayons.
Nah.
Glass.
No, but you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Personally, just before we crack on with the second part, it's nice because for me, obviously, you know, I've been singing for 30 years and it's been a great career and I've loved it every second of it. And I've seen things, done things. And now it's nice to be in a position to use what I've learned and what I've been put in a position to put in place with the podcast to now give something back to somebody else that wants to have a career or dip their toe in the water and try it. And it's lovely to be in a position to now be where I was when I started singing, because back then, you know, there was other singers out there on the circuit that, you know, give me 5 minutes of their time, and if they hadn't, then who knows? So you never know. So it's lovely to give something back, and it's nice when you've got someone as enthusiastic and is, you know, he's took to it like a duck to water. He really has, and it's great to work with him.
That,
and it's great to get his, you know, we've got a little message thing set up, and anything we see, you know, daft articles, local stories, and he's popping it in. He's having his input. And that all matters.
Even at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I get this brainwave and jump out of bed.
But that's all part of knowing that you're investing in the right person, because he's not just sitting there and just expecting me to put everything in place for him and turn up and just do his bit. He's not. He's grafting, and that's what it takes. No matter what walk of life you're in, no matter what you're doing in life, you at the end of the day, you've always got to be moving forward. If you're standing still, because that's why they say you chase your dreams. If you're standing still, you can't be chasing them. Yeah. So, you know, if I can help be on that track and help push you and get you somewhere, then, but if you're just happy being here, that makes it for me. If you go to school and you get a pat on the back, that makes it for me too, mate. So well done.
No,
I'm really, really happy to hear that story. I genuinely am. And it leads on nicely to talk about a subject that I know both you and I have got different interests and links to it, in terms of like when you talk about your kids and stuff. Yeah. In one way that we've both, you know, kind of cemented their place in our lives is to go out and put poison in our bodies. We've decided to go under the needle, but we've decided the today's major topic that we want you all to join in with. I
mean, you more than me. I mean, you were brought up with tattoos.
Yeah, tattoos were. Well, my dad was the youngest ever tattooist in Great Britain at 14 to be registered, and he was the longest serving when he retired. And so I've always been around it, whether it be, you know, in different shops, places. When we've been abroad, he's done guest spots in studios. He's been around the UK, and so I've always been around it from being a kid. So to me, growing up with it, it was like it was more like a fascination than it was. So when the time come to get tattooed, or when I became 18, it was kind of like I'd had an apprenticeship I had seen, and I always remember, like, my dad had always said, it was like, when you get your first tattoo, I'm doing it, was stipulation 1. And 2, he said, hey, you're not getting the bulldog, because like back then that was the thing. You're not getting the Union Jack. You're not getting a Newcastle badge. And he'd said, like, because no matter when you go abroad, it's just a sticker for trouble. And I was like, all right, okay. And true enough, I mean,
everyone gets had like a bulldog. Don't
I've seen bother when I've been abroad. That were football fans and stuff, and I've seen banter over tattoos relating to football clubs. I have seen it, so I understand. But that's not to say that I didn't want it, the Newcastle badge. I mean, I love Newcastle United, but I just didn't go down that route. And I held out until I think I was 21 122 before I actually eventually took the step to get a tattoo. And looking back, I'm happy that I did wait and I didn't jump the gun, because probably I would have had a cover up by now, like in terms of like looking back on my tattoos and thinking, I regret that.
Yeah.
Your tattoos, on the other hand, you went like absolutely like above and beyond.
Yeah, like I mean, like with my tattoos. So I wasn't gonna get a tattoo, but we were on holiday, and I thought I'm gonna get a tattoo. So my first tattoo was actually a dice on my bum, right? And
Is anyone else at this point on this podcast like really like struggling to wonder like what is going on in Nathan's head today?
So basically, I'll tell a story about that. Like, so we got given a dice, and you had to hold this dice, and then when someone shouted dice, you had to roll it. So I got that tattooed on my bum. So I never would lose me dice, because I always had it on my bum. So as soon as someone shouted dice, I got my bum out. Right, that's how it started. But now I've got Norman Wisdom, Charlie Chapman, Delboy and Rodney, Laurel and Hardy.
We'll put some photos up at this point.
Yeah, and I think every single one of them tattoos means something to me. And I've also got my daughter on my arm, but every single one of them has a personal meaning to me. Like, I get people go and do tattoos, they might get a tribal, but they don't really mean anything. The ones that I've got actually mean. They all have a personal meaning.
You see, that's the thing though with tattoos, right? I think that there's different reasons for people getting them. They're either like telling a story, they're either like marking a moment in life. Like, I think like Ed Sheeran, I'm sure he's got like a tattoo for like every place not every place, but like a majority of the places he's been.
Yeah.
He's had like, it's like I'm sure he's got a bottle of tomato ketchup or something on him, and it's like it must be relating to a story in that place.
Like for instance, right? Like we both work in music, so on my arm I have Elvis, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and I also have Sammy Davis Jr. But on every one, like on Elvis, I've got Teddy Bear. On Dean Martin, I've got That's Amore.
Right.
And on Frank Sinatra, I did it my way.
Right.
Because I do everything my way.
Okay.
And that is also my Nana's song. My Nana Margie's song.
Okay.
We sing it every time we go, in the club. We'll always sing I Did It My Way. And it means something. And when I look at my arm, I remember. It takes us back to that moment of singing that song or stand on a stage. So like yourself, that takes me back to my memory.
Well, you see, and obviously, like your kids' names, and like you say, that's the same kind of thing. Takes you back and reminds you, etc. Et but there's also, I think, when we talk about regret tattoos, regretful ones, I think I certainly been around tattoos. What I often found when people would come into my dad's shop, 5-6 years down the line, and say, "I want this covered over." I would find a lot of the time it was a rebellious tattoo towards a parent that didn't want them to be tattooed.
Yeah.
So they had went out and merely got a tattoo just to
anything.
It could be a Chinese symbol, and it was just merely to go in the house and like stick 2 fingers up at the parent.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what you don't realize is
then when you get older, you realize that actually, I shouldn't have got that. Like, I think it's funny, but like someone will go, "Can you put a Chinese symbol on my arm?" And then the Chinese tattooist is like, and it's like chicken fried rice or something like that. Do you know what I mean? You don't know.
I was in a place called Eshwinning, and I'd done it called Eshwinning.
Oh no!
And I'd done a football gig, and we're on my way back, and we stopped at the Chinese.
Yeah. And
this guy came in, and he was steaming. I mean, absolutely paralytic. And the Chinese guy's like, "Oh, come on, I haven't got time for this. I've got a busy shop and stuff." He's like losing his rag. And the kid just ripped open his shirt, right? And he had his Chinese order tattooed on his chest. And the guy just went, "Right, okay, ticket number 7, take a seat." And it was just like, that's genius. That's absolute genius. I bet you like on his chest he had like his kebab order. Hang on, what's it tonight? Indians, really? I'll just crack that one off and all. Like, there you go.
Oh, I've got Oh, the Indian one rubbed off.
But you know what it is as well, though.
Oh,
I think talking about tattoos, you touched on it before there when you mentioned tribal. I think with tattoos, I think it comes with what do they call it? Like fashion.
Yeah. Do you know what? Saying about fashion, right? I don't know if you'll agree with this, but lately, right, the last few years, I've been seeing like tattoos of like, it's just completely like the full arm is
blacking out. And apparently,
do you know what I mean?
Someone said like it's like
a trend thing.
But apparently, once they get it blacked out, then they get like some kind of blank needle,
like white.
No, or white or black. Or, I don't know. And they kind of put like a pattern in among the black.
Okay.
So that's what the black's intended to then become like. To take a back to front kind of tattoo process.
I mean, if you don't light your tattoo instead of blacking it out, you can get laser treatment. Don't know if it works, like.
I mean, I know there's odd colours that don't come out. I think it's red, blue. I think they're more. I know just over the years I've seen a lot of old tattoos having tried to be removed, but you know, like again, though, I think a lot of it, like when we talk about it, comes down to like it does come down to like what's trending. That's the word. What's trending.
Saying that, like what like bringing it to like the viewers. I love to see a tattoo. So if you've got a good tattoo,
definitely get
take
them in
a
the
picture
comments.
of it, put it in the comments, and then we
give
can
us a story.
talk about it.
Give us a story. Tell me why.
What's your story? You might have a tattoo of, I don't know, a car maybe, or a name or something, and it's got a story attached to it. Put it in the comments. Let me know, and I would love to hear your story about your tattoos.
I'll tell you one, and this is true. I met a guy once. I think it was down south when I was working away, and he had a vest on, and he was sitting outside this bar, and he was an amputee. He had a stump on his arm.
Yeah.
His arm had been removed, and he had like a shark's head tattooed on the end of it. So the end of it was like the mouth of the shark. And he said, "Oh, I lost my arm."
Yeah.
The shark bit it off.
There was another guy in Turkey when I was on holiday. He had one of his toes missing, and he had like a sign like with a pin, and it had Gordon Market. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh
no! Obviously 2 of them went missing.
Oh,
he put Gordon Market, but listen, like I have portraits and stuff, and there's a guy in Wallsend that does them. Simon Young, Young Guns, just the bottom of the high street, and I wouldn't go anywhere else because
fair enough.
The meaning of it is, he really you could go in and go, oh, I've got this idea, and you look and go, not going to work. Because he doesn't want it.
No, but he cares because it's just got to be on your body, and it's got to be you're representing him at the end of the day. You're walking around with his portfolio really on you, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean every tattoo that I've got is Simon Young.
But your tattoos, what hurt the most?
Do you know where it hurt the most?
Where?
The inside of my arm, like here. I don't know if I.
Have you had your back done yet?
Yeah, I've got a cross on my back.
Oh,
just above like where my neck is, like just below me.
The middle of me back done.
The pain. It was painful, but I mean, everybody has a threshold, and another thing, people do have numbing cream. Now, I don't have numbing cream. If you have numbing cream, put it.
I've had it. I hold my hands up. I had it, but it doesn't work on bone.
No.
So I found out wholeheartedly sitting there, wasted an hour,
like muscle.
Waited an hour to then just be absolutely tortured for like the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work on
doesn't
bone.
Work.
No. Well. That then leads with how time's flying.
I know.
That's part 2.
I know.
And once again, we're just going to give you a quick little reminder of some great local businesses doing great things, not only for themselves, with the businesses that they have in the community, but also using their business to support others in the community. We'll be right back with part 3. See you then. So, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
This is the third and final part of episode 4.
It certainly is. It certainly
Episode
is.
4. Welcome back to like this place where we've got like loads of opinions.
I would need solutions.
We haven't that works. We'll try though.
Yeah, we do. We totally do.
And you know what it is? Actually, you know, when you talk about solutions, I think like on a serious note, like you were telling us about someone that you know, and he's highlighting a massive issue that I think like eventually it feels after so long it's eventually being brought to the surface more and more, but sadly it's through loss that this thing about men's mental health seems to be brought to the surface more and more.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
So tell us a bit more about that, Nate.
So there's this lad's called Martin Beeman, and he's wanting to promote awareness over mental health. So he actually walked the Hadrian's Wall.
Wow.
From the start to...
Well done, Martin, by the way.
To Wall's End. And, you know, he started off, you know, he's self-struggling. Now, he's actually got 2 groups going. So a Man Circle group, which is, it's a second Friday of... You know the month.
It's in Jarrah West Park.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then he's got another one, the 4th Thursday, which is in the Diversity Hub in Newcastle.
All right,
and basically, to put it in perspective, that is a place where you can go, you can chat, you know, with people, like-minded people who are struggling. They do have their own battles that they're fighting, you know, the demons are fighting.
Yep.
But it's a safe space. You go in, have a chat, you know, tell them how you're feeling, you know, and you come out feeling a little bit better than what you did when you went in.
Here's a little bit of footage, actually, that we've managed to capture, give you a little insight as to what Martin's been up to. So take a look at this.
This is it, the final stretch, heading to Wall's End. And there's like tears in my eyes. I'm in so much pain, but there's just so much thankfulness coming out of me. You know, I'm thankful for the guy who invented PAFs. I'm thankful for a cappella and their song I Am Resilient, and I'm thankful that they're going to be playing at the Medicine Festival that I'm going to be at this year. I'm just so thankful that I've been able to do this with 2 brothers who couldn't have done this without them. I would have given up. If yesterday's route had took me past the train station, I would have took it. I really would have. So I'm thankful for the universe that didn't happen also. Anyone out there who's got any issues with self-worth, any issues with anything, like not feeling good enough, like why don't you do a challenge? Like why don't you just set yourself a goal? Maybe one that's not as crazy as this, 84 mile in 4 days over some of the roughest terrain I've ever been on. But yeah, go do something, man. Like, just step up and you can step forward and just fight for you. Fight for yourself. Fight for your sovereignty. You're the one who's important. You're the one that matters. And you're the one who's going to change.
Absolutely brilliant. And you know, there's long may there be more people like Martin highlighting it, because like obviously I know myself during lockdown I lost a few friends to suicide, and then not long ago a friend of mine that a lot of people are familiar with, Ricky Hatton, and since his death there's now like a foundation through his name and stuff being created, but it shouldn't take for loss for it to be brought up like that. Like it needs like support, and that's the problem now, because like mental health overall seems to lack support, and you know, like it's a well known fact that, you know, that there's not enough bodies for the problems, as I say.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But totally like it's great to have people like Martin, and it's great to have people like Man Circle.
It was nice because he actually, as you've just watched the journey video, he's doing it for so much love and respect towards people who are struggling, you know, and it's just really nice.
I think you know, it's a massive thing to address in any way, because basically you're holding your hands up and you're asking for help, and you know, being a man's man, it's like, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to men, like on a list of things, I think they'd rather like talk about like the football, the weather, the weird bloke at work, how like the Romans came to England, and then like last on the list of things that they would actually get round to discussing, like their own mental health.
Yeah, but do you know, like, they're sort of lost in their own thoughts. They're thinking about like that, you know, like the guy that's owing them £5 from like 15 years ago.
It's mad because like that, what you just hit on there is them silly little thoughts that tend to happen when you're in that moment where you've got too much time, and that's what you find when you've got time on your hands and you're alone with your thoughts.
Yeah.
In that sometimes that it's like a little demon that kind of like a naughty little kid that sees like a playground and goes like, oh, get in, I'm in here and I'm going to cause havoc.
No, yeah, totally.
But it's the end result that matters, because that's where lives are lost, because men aren't speaking up. And Martin, like from me personally and from Nathan's told us all about you, I'm 100% behind you, as we all are, no doubt. And I'm sure people watching the podcast will be.
You know what? You know what the biggest thing for me is. He's took that journey on himself. He does a lot for the community, and it's amazing to see. You know,
I 100% couldn't agree anymore. But anyone that's got anything to do, I mean, you know, like mental health overall is a massive thing. But you know, but men's is one of the biggest causes of death in men is suicide, and it's on the rise every year.
Yeah.
And you know, you're talking about big numbers, and you know, like I think men sometimes when you go into like WhatsApp, like women find it so easy to open up because it's like a natural thing to them. Like they've got like maternal instincts to want to help and support and love, and whereas a man, it just seems to be like a bloody steel wall, and you know they like. We've got WhatsApp groups, but you know, like if you went in there and said I'm having a down day, next thing you get like 20 memes sent back to you of like, you know, like a Pokemon crying, and it's just kind of like the way that men are towards men. But we need to kind of sometimes maybe just like have a little stop, have a little thought and think.
You know, and like going back to you know, to the men's circles, on the Friday and the Thursday, you go in, these people that are there, or you know. There's be 30 of them, and they don't all go the same day, or you know, the same.
Yeah,
might be not for like 5 weeks or 4 months. But when they're there for the same reason, and they don't judge. You know, they just sit and listen to your story, let you get your story off your chest.
And you know,
that's what you need.
I think sometimes it's being heard. Sometimes it's just offloading, and if you've got that opportunity to offload, then you should take it with both hands, because. Yeah. It can make a huge difference, mate, because at the end of the day, if you carry a problem, it ends up carrying you, because it takes you over and it bears you down, and it's not nice to see. So,
no,
like honestly, not. Like please, man, like I'm begging you, like I'd rather have a phone call from you at 3 o'clock in the morning telling you you've got a problem than someone phones at 3 o'clock in the morning to say that you've took your own life.
Yeah.
But you know, I hope. Before, I don't want to go down a dark alley, because you know it. But like mental health is a massive thing that we totally support 100%, both on a personal level as well. But you know, the one thing I can say is like, hopefully this podcast in itself as well is that little bit of light, maybe for some people. You know, like in the shade, in the dark, we're a little bit of light that gives you that little break and a little bit of sense of humor and a laugh and a carry on. Nathan's got his personality, I've got mine, and you know what you see, like we said earlier on, right at the outset of the podcast today. There's no editing, there's no doubt. What you see, it's straight to the camera, and it's just, you know, it's just us as people just trying to put.
And if, like, you know, I want to relate to, if you're struggling, you know. We've got an email address at the bottom. You email us, and we'll direct you into the right channels of where you want to go.
100%.
You know that we're here to support you as a person, as well. And you know, if the podcast helps you overcome something you're worrying about, then we're doing.
Well, do you know what it is? I think basically, if you've laughed, right, you've probably learned out. and you probably think that you're a little bit less mental having seen us two.
But you know what, though? At least we've done my job.
And that, my friend,
That's the one, isn't it?
we will say good night.
Thank
God
you very
bless.
much.
Stay safe.
See you soon.
Speak up and be heard. It matters.
Don't do anything we wouldn't.
Take care.
Adios.
See you soon. Bye now.